all this? Bits and pieces. Broken bits and pieces of things.
Hello, welcome to this video, and this video is going to be called but let's have a look at The Wizard, which is off the first album. Now this was written, the lyrics were written not by Ozzy Osbourne, but by Geezer Butler, and he said that this character of the Wizard was inspired by Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. Now I'm going to read you the opening verse. Misty morning, clouds in the sky. Without warning, a wizard walks by, casting his shadow, weaving his spell. Long grey cloak, tinkling bell. Right, that is the opening verse of The Wizard. The chorus. This is the chorus. Never talking, just keeps walking, spreading his magic. All right. Now, is it just me? But the idea that this is obviously being seen by someone. This is the character that's watching this. Right. So it's a misty morning. There's clouds in the sky. Straight off, if it's a misty morning, you won't be able to see any clouds in the sky because it'll be foggy. You wouldn't be able to look up. But that next. And then, without warning, a wizard walks by. Now, for me, of course, if I am going to meet a wizard, I would like the warning first. I would like there to be a warning. Maybe normally with wizards, they have some sort of person that goes forth before them, you know, announcing, everybody get ready, there's a wizard about to walk by. Is that the established norm? Because this song straight away points out that in this case, that wasn't the fact. Without warning, a wizard walked by, casting his shadow. Right, it's a cloudy sky. It just said in the line before it's a cloudy sky. Now he's casting his shadow. Is that magic? Weaving his spell, which of course we expect from a wizard. Long grey cloak, tinkling bell. I don't need the tinkling bell. The tinkling bell is not working for me. It's comical. It's comical. The whole thing is comical. Verse 2. Evil power disappears. Demons worry when the wizard is near. Right? What are they worrying about? Is it the fact that they're worried about the wizard, or they just start worrying? You know, I worry a lot. I definitely worry about all sorts of things that they were, you know, as soon as the wizard appears, they go, oh my God, the demons, oh my God, have I left the gas on? Because of course, if you're a demon and you leave the gas on, this is a terrible thing. This could cause all sorts of untold terror, which of course you would assume a demon wants to cause. What does a demon worry about when the wizard? It must be the wizard, right? Because he turns tears into joy. Everyone's happy when the wizard walks by, right? So why is it bad to not be warned about the wizard? Right, we've moved on now. Sun is shining, clouds have gone by. All the people give a happy sigh. That's the best I can do to emulate a happy sigh for you. He has passed by giving his sign, left all the people feeling so fine. I assume it's that. That is the only sign that he could have given at that point. That's what I'm imagining. So this wizard walks in without any warning. He tinkles his bell. All the demons get worried. What happens then is everyone is happy. They give a sigh, and then he leaves, giving this universal sign that everything's fine, which of course must be that. Maybe it's that. I can't imagine what the sign is. Maybe it's some sort of esoteric sign that hasn't been explained. And that's the song done, right? Now, as a kid, reading those lyrics, that was exactly what I felt. And I have not picked the most ridiculous lyrics, right? In this. With Black Sabbath, I have not picked the most ridiculous lyrics. There are things that happen in Black Sabbath songs now that I find quite preposterous. You know, so you get War Pigs that starts off with that big majestic, you know, down, down. You get that great big majestic, and then it just stops, and we're left with just a hi-hat. That's it. Now this, I think, is genius, but it's a new kind of genius. Bands have never created compositions this stupid before, right? Ozzy comes in, generals gathered in their masses. Right, so the generals are gathering in their masses. There's masses of generals. And I can't help when I hear that first line of a conversation going on in Black Sabbath that must have been a little bit like this. Ozzy Osbourne. Geezer, have you got a line for this song? Yes, I have. It's generals gathered in their masses, but I cannot come up with a rhyme. I need a rhyme to go with it, and I can't find one. Well, you need a word that rhymes with masses. Have you got one? I can't think of one at all. Hang on, I've had an idea. Why don't I rhyme it with masses? Generals gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. How about that? Would that work? I think that'll do fine. But normally with a poem, you usually have a different word that rhymes. I think if you were to use the same word over and over again, it actually would not be a rhyme. It would just be the same word. Oh, but I can't think of anything else. Let's just go for it. Yeah, okay then, Ozzy. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the only scenario that I can imagine would allow any other band trying to rhyme masses with masses. You would think they would have questioned this. You know, this is the thing. So you get this clunky sort of compositional style. My favourite tune by Black Sabbath is Supernaut off Black Sabbath Volume 4, which is famous because at this point they were, you know, bringing in suitcases worth of drugs. The album was originally going to be called Snowblind as a tribute to their terrible drug habits that were raging at that time in the band. Supernaut is a work of genius. And part of the thing that I find it so amazing, it's got the heaviest riff, the heaviest rolling riff of all time. It's so heavy. But in the middle we have a calypso. This song's bloody heavy, isn't it? Yeah, we got a right heavy riff here, haven't we? What shall we go into the middle? Shall we go for something really heavy or something else? I think we should go for something else. What should we go for? Geez, have you got any ideas? Because I blame Geezer for everything. Geezer, have you got any ideas for this middle section? How about we go into calypso? That'd be a bloody brilliant idea. Let's go for it right now. Can you play a calypso? I don't know. I don't really know what one is, but I think we should go because there's nothing that says heavy like a calypso. I must say, we have another thing you must check out in Nissa. It's called Marmite. And you're either going to love it or hate it. And that's what my channel's a little bit like that. I've got to be honest.
I tried Marmite.
Have you ever had it?
Yeah, I wasn't bothered either way.
Oh my God, that is an example of extraterrestrial evidence there.
Different palette.
Yes. Now I might have to edit this bit out because you're subterfuge by being out there to hide yourself. If anyone's watching this laughing up their sleeve thinking that's not a real alien, there's, you know, some sort of fool doing that, they will reach that point and go, hang on, how can this guy be not bothered about Marmite? Because here on Earth, it's almost like a law. That's this is why on my channel's the same thing. You know, I don't think there's anybody that's just on the fence when it comes to my channel. But
there's actually a planet called Marmite.
Is there?
Yes.
Well, what do you think of that planet?
It's in Andromeda. I've heard good things. I've not been myself. But yes, it has a... Yes, a reasonable atmosphere.
What's it like underfoot?
Underfoot is a bit gelatinous.
Yeah, and a bit sticky.
It's a bit sticky underfoot, yes. It has a kind of yeasty atmosphere, but yes, I mean, some people love it. Yeah.
But then other people hate it, I assume. I bet that I mean, you never visited there, so you wouldn't know, but I imagine there'd be two tribes on there, wouldn't there? And they would be continually at war.
Yes, the Marmite Wars.
The Marmite Wars, yes.
Yes, I've heard of the Marmite Wars. They are very serious. And yes, we try to bring an end to war. That would be nice. But
Well, don't bring Marmite into it. Whatever you do, not on Earth. If you think, when you've brought people together and they're all holding hands and loving each other, and you think, oh, Andy mentioned something, and you decide to whip up some Marmite on toast and you offer it to the group, they'll just be back fighting again. So that's another tip. I've tried to give you many tips as I can here, from because I've got a good knowledge of Earth, being a human being. See, so I've tried to use those skills. I haven't got much else to really, I know a lot about bands, but I've tried that, and I tried it with Cardiacs, which I thought would work. But yes, you're not. I mean, Def Leppard.
Def Leppard.
Def Leppard.
Oh, Def Leppard.
Def Leppard fan. Do you know of them?
I've heard the name.
Lighthouse Family.
Are they the lifted ones?
Yes, they are the lifted ones.
Yes, well.
Yeah, avoid them.
Not for me.
Avoid them. Avoid them. If you do land on Earth with a certain type of person, and maybe you're sat in their nice house, they'll say, you like music, I'm really into the Lighthouse Family, and they try and play at you. You need to exit it. The purity of your being will be sullied by such an awful sound.
Yes. I believe that their sound waves are actually deliberately laced with pure boredom.
Now, the only thing that is worrying me a little bit is my lack of hat work, right? So we'll just put that to there, and we'll see how this goes. Just hold your horses, will you? Now, I want you to look at Scott there with his fiery Kentucky Fried, what is it, Burger King hat on. Now, I haven't planned this. I haven't planned this, right? But I am now going to return, and I have pulled this out of nowhere. Think about this. Right? I haven't even tried. What can I say? If I want to do hat work, I can do hat work. I'm an expert on YouTube hat work, in fact. There, another look for you. How about that one? Yeah, all sorts of. I can get all sorts of I get all sorts of looks out of this one. That's just the one ear down. Say I was talking to you, and I wanted the other ear to come down. I just do that, right? I think I've proved my point. Shall we finish up there? Bye bye. Switch this light off. I'll go open the curtains. And when you unite the opposites of chaos and order, you get the sublime. And great music is about the sublime, right? So when you grow a moustache, what you are doing is you are channeling the sublime through the integrations of the great binary elements of masculine and feminine, which really embody chaos and order. And that's what I'm doing right now with this video and the use of this moustache. So this video acts as an experiment. It acts as an experiment in this way, in that I believe that this video won't just be a really stupid, silly video that I've made, right? That is just absolutely pointless and has got all the sort of progressive rock fans up in arms because they wanted another video on Genesis or Van de Graaff Generator, and all the jazz fans that have discovered me through my, you know, what makes all modern jazz sound the same video, they've all come along, and of course they're a snobby, snotty lot, aren't they? You know, I mean, the prog lot are bad enough, aren't they, with their sort of anal retentive, you know, boundary loving ways, you know, everything's got to be in the correct box, and all their socks and pants are all, you know, coded in colour order in their drawer next to their bed, and they've got all their albums in alphabetical order. You know, that's annoying enough, but it's nowhere near as bad as the snobby, snotty jazz, you know, fan who just automatically thinks they're better than everybody else because they own a couple of Charlie Mingus albums, you know. So all those who are watching this, they go, what is this guy going on about? I thought he was okay. I thought he was all right. You know, I thought he was like the new Rick Beato. I thought he was Rick Beato, but with more depth, you know, with more intelligence. And then he comes on here and spends a whole 20 minutes, because that's how long I'm going to spend, a whole 20 minutes talking about moustaches, Marlon Brando, Burt Reynolds, Hitler, the Sparks, right? Adam Neely doesn't do that. He talks about serious things. You know, he talks about really hard chords and like how all music theory is racist. And he's not doing that. He's just going on about moustaches. What the hell is going on? What is he up to? What's this about? I'd subscribe to his channel. I'm now going to switch it on. I'm not subscribing to this. And look at him. He looks like an idiot with that moustache on. This is the Chick Corea Electric Band live in Japan in 1987. They're playing a track Rumble off the debut album again. I think that album, I mean, I do love that album, but as the time goes on, I realise it's the root of so much evil that you can almost like date back to all the problems that we're having now, probably back to 1986 when Chick Corea's Electric Band first album came out. Now I will join this concert in the middle of Dave Weckl's drum solo. Have a listen to this. Well done, Dave. Now look, what is actually going on here? That's what I want to know. As you could see, Chick Corea was there doing this sort of movement like a sort of toy soldier, but he seems to be directing his musicians. Now, remember this thing I said, that I always feel that by this point, Chick Corea got quite despotic. I don't know whether it was the L. Ron Hubbard influence, where, you know, that he felt like he had to create a cult within the Chick Corea Electric Band. But here we have, you know, three of the greatest musicians of all time, absolute legends. John Patitucci, Eric Marienthal on saxophone, and the great Frank Gambale on guitar. Now, if they were in my band, I'd just let them do their thing, but not Chick Corea. Not when you're Chick Corea. What you do is you create a dance routine where you are some sort of Tchaikovsky nutcracker overlord doing your toll soldier, and this is somehow directing these to come out pretending to be robots. But to me, they look more like jazz rock fusion zombies. And I just, you know, can see that Dave Weckl must have been so happy that he played the drums at this moment. Just watch this. They're frozen now. His little clustered piano chord seems to be controlling Frank Gambale in some way. He doesn't want to jump around too much because that wig will come flying off. And the sense of relief on Eric Marienthal's face as he finally launches into this, and that, you know, moment of social suicide has now passed. Whilst I react, and we'll just put it on. Right, start it up. Let's put the needle on the old thing. Put the headphones on. There we go. Oh.
To play? Great!
Is that the record?
I love
What's this?
guessing games, especially
gonna ruin
when
everything.
I'm sure to win. Think of an animal. Say, okay, when you're ready.
Stop now. Wish I'd done that. Spoke it a bit. This next one is it's low-hanging fruit, but I banged it in there because for comedy purposes. So this is Demis Roussos with the album Mes Success. Now Demis Roussos is allowed to be covered on my channel because before he was Demis Roussos, he was the lead singer of Aphrodite's Child, which started out as a pop band, but of course famously in the early 70s made a conceptual album called 666, which some people here think is an absolute masterpiece. I think it's an absolutely awful album, but certain proggers absolutely love it. But there are a weird bunch out there that like Italian prog, and I have to be aware that that is the case. Scott Larday being an example, I had to go and get him to look at PFM. Now I like PFM. Aphrodite's Child, that's a bit much for me. But the thing is, with Aphrodite's Child, it did produce the sensation that was Demis Roussos. Now, anybody here in the UK of my age would have grown up watching Mike Leigh's masterpiece play called Abigail's Party, where a lady called Abigail throws a party and all sorts of terrible things ensue. But throughout that, she keeps playing on a record player, Demis Roussos. She loves Demis Roussos, and it's not just his voice in the songs, it's also him. I think in the 70s, Demis Roussos represented an aspect of masculinity that we have sort of forgotten about in the ensuing years. And that masculinity is on full display with this album cover. Now, as well as showing peak masculinity, Demis is not afraid to also channel his inner femininity as well. So in a way, he is foretelling all the exploits and identity statements that we're going to see with our modern pop stars like Sam Smith, aren't we? Although I don't believe Sam Smith has the testosterone level to produce that amount of hair. Demis Roussos is an incredibly hairy man. I've got my shirt open because this button won't work, and I'm not doing it for effect, because why would I? Why would I try and compete against this on my video? I mean, I can barely grow a beard here. I can do this bit here. Demis is just pushing hair out of his body. Now, this album cover is just truly awful. The typeface is all off-centered, and I don't like that. So you got Demis Roussos on the left, and then we got Mes Success. It's far too close to his head. It encloses him in too much. And then we have that gap, which they think is balanced by putting that horrible VU RTL up in the right-hand corner. So graphically, it doesn't look great. And I do believe that the Mes Success, if you look very carefully, is not straight. It's slightly on the wonk, right? So, because back then they were doing this stuff manually. You know, I started, my first job was a paste-up artist before graphics went all on computers. So if you wonder why I have such an interest in this, it comes from the fact I got a degree in art, and then my first job was in graphics, and the old school graphics, and I know how they do this stuff, and it's difficult to do. It's lots of overlays and all sorts of nonsense. Now, let's have a look at this photo of Demis Roussos. I'm going to spend some time on this one because it's just absolutely wonderful. There is a theory that if you stand in a Superman pose with your hands on your hips, it frees up all the sort of, what are those, like, you know, the bile, the way the bile moves around the body. Not the bile. You know, there's things in your armpits that swell up. What's that called? What are they called? It's your immune system. You know, you've got those things and it goes around. What's that called? Anyway, there is a theory, and I've been told this, as that this is the case, is that if you stand in the Superman pose, it frees up your tubes, basically. Your tubes start to run much better, and the flow of energy around the body, it all starts working in a sort of new age way, you know, all the tubes are like free to move. Do you know what I'm saying about the tubes? Now, obviously, with Demis, his tubes are full of testosterone, aren't they? So, you know, when he frees up his tubes, the testosterone just is in full flow. And I wonder whether this is the pose that Demis utilised to be able to create such amount of hair and bodily mass. Now, Demis Roussos is famous for being a fat bloke, really. And most of the time he would wear some sort of long kaftan type of fare. That was what he's famous for. But here he's not gone for that. And here he's wearing this like lady's silk blouse. What sort of lady would wear this blouse? I don't know. I don't know whether you can button it up, but if you can, Demis Roussos' chest is so powerful that it has burst that open, and the hair of his chest, which is mushrooming like a nuclear bomb exploding from below. The metaphor for that we don't want to go to, but it's like a black hairy mushroom cloud who's exploding upwards from there, from below. And you could see that there's a lot of mass there. He's got white trousers on, hand on hips, and then he's got, and it obviously has been made by somebody because it's not cut well, this sort of sparkly waistcoat. And then what the hell has he got around his neck? Is that from like a Native American? I'm not too sure. But he needs that there to keep under control some of the biggest 70s collars I've ever seen in my life. Now, of course, we know that the 70s collars are a metaphor for masculinity. There were many in the 70s, and we know that is the case. If you go back to the early 70s and look at any masculine man, then look at the size of his collars, and you will see. Now, obviously, that shirt could never have been done up because, you know, Demis's neck is thick and sturdy. And then when we get to the face, look at that beard and hair combo. And the thing with Demis is he is an extremely handsome man, isn't he? He's a large, bulky man, but he's very handsome. And he's not smiling, right? He's not frowning. He's looking like he's trying to get his breath back. That's what he looks like to me. I don't know if there was a flight of stairs to get to that point, but he just looks a bit like, you know, he's just trying to get his breath back. I think I've destroyed this enough to move on. Number one, we have the McVitie's Chocolate Digestive, the greatest of all the biscuits, and of course this includes the digestive biscuits, which would be at number 2 for me if I was allowed to put it on the list. McVitie's Chocolate Digestives are so ubiquitous in the big biscuit world that they have become to be known as chocolate biscuits. Mom, can we have some chocolate biscuit? Yes. And you bring out chocolate malty milks. No, not these, Mom. Not these ones. We want chocolate biscuits. Oh, you mean McVitie's Chocolate Digestives? Yes, that's what a chocolate biscuit is. The greatest of the biscuits. The most ubiquitous biscuit, Mom. The biscuit that goes through all classes, all different races, all everywhere. It's the most encompassing biscuit. You could go to a lowly household. Would you like some biscuits with a cup of tea? They bring out a chocolate biscuit. Thank you very much. You know, don't have to spend a lot of money on chocolate biscuits. But say I was welcomed by the new king at Buckingham Palace, King Charles III. If he welcomed me to his palace, and he brought out a cup of tea, and with that was chocolate biscuits. That is what I would expect from my king, right? Not some opulent Viennese whirl, right? I would not want that. I don't want to see these opulent biscuits on the list. I do not want to see the ruling classes showing off their wealth. This is a way in which the privileged can show themselves to be humble. And this is so important. I'm getting very angry about this now. Very, very angry. We must preserve the British chocolate biscuit as the most ubiquitous, highest standing biscuit in the realm of biscuits. This is so important that we do this. It's being challenged by so many other biscuits at the moment. And there we have the chocolate hobnob, the rough-hewn chocolate hobnob, vying from below, trying to pull at it. I'm sure people go, oh no, I'd rather have a chocolate hobnob because they taste nicer. Who cares if it tastes nicer? We're talking about chocolate biscuits. If you get fed up with milk chocolate, you can go to dark chocolate. They haven't fussed it up by putting Oreos in there or anything like that. This is the biscuit, right? Number one. Objective. This is the one. I'm very angry about this. And when you get angry, people like your videos on YouTube and it increases the views. So I'm just going to try and extend this anger a little bit more because I'm really angry about this. So that's what I have at number one, is the McVitie's Chocolate Digestive. Some honorary mentions that didn't quite make the list for me. Jammy Dodgers, a lovely biscuit, a little bit childish. I think anybody eating Jammy Dodgers over the age of 40 really needs to be thinking about where their life is at, and for that reason it didn't quite make the list. Chocolate fingers, a good biscuit. The biscuit part of the chocolate fingers is a bit dusty for me. There's not much chocolate on them. You do get a lot in a pack. I seem to go through them very quick. I need more. There's not enough. There's not enough substance to them. So you try and eat 3 or 4 at once, you know. But they're a good strong contender. Maybe at number 11. Shortbread. Yuck. Who wants shortbread? Great big lump of dusty Scottish nonsense. We don't want shortbread, right? Ah, that sounds expensive, doesn't it? Think about swans. No noble swan, flapping your wings. Only the king can eat you. Noble swan, he wants to break your arm, 'cause he knows you can't get him. because the King of England will kill you. So leave the swan alone. He is fully grown, and you will only moan as he beats you up with his incredibly strong swan neck that only the king can break. The king can break. Look at the lowly badger, prince of the forest. He is trying to get in your bin. He will dig through your fences, and he'll dig up your carrots and peas. He's a naughty badger. The cheeky fox out there running, and the nasty rich people on their horses, they're trying to catch him, dressed in red. They want the foxy dead, but they've been stopped by doing this by the great unwashed proletariat of England. England, England, where we beat the fox up and we get the doggies on him. But you're not allowed to do this. It's been stopped by normal people. They didn't like the way that the foxes were hounded down, literally by hounds. The swan, the badger, the little fox are all at peace now. They're all at peace now, in a lovely, lovely, in a song about England. Oh, I don't know what possessed me there. That was amazing, and I've got it all caught on video, so I can transcribe that down, go to my local pub, get on one of those open mic nights and say, hey, I've written a song about the lovely animals of England. The swan, the badger and the fox, all wonderful animals. Incredibly complex arrangements, exploring some sort of esoteric English aesthetic, but in front of huge audiences. Jethro Tull on the back of Aqualung had become an FM staple and an arena-filling band. And so we get to hear a band of this virtuosity level with a full record label behind them, brilliantly recorded, presenting this incredibly complex music in front of a live audience. Now, this... Thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed that little voyage through some of the funnier bits on my channel. If you're wondering how I ended up doing such silly stuff, well, when the channel started off, I didn't want to be silly. It just happened. And to finish this video off, I'm going to show you the first moment on this channel when I was very, very silly. Now, I'm going to set up what's going on here. I'm doing a video here about the 10 greatest live prog albums. And I've been getting a lot of criticism from the sort of more anal retentive end of the progressive rock fandom. And towards the end of the video, I try to apologise for certain things I haven't done and be like a decent YouTuber. But my annoyance gets the better of me and I go off on a long rant. So that's what you're about to see now, is that long rant that I did many years ago that resulted in this video getting 20,000 views, I think, and me realising that they actually, the viewers, that's you lot, actually liked the silly stuff. And it's got sillier and sillier. So I hope you enjoy this, my first and possibly greatest rant. Somebody moaned that my videos are too short, so I have really just rambled on these videos. So if you like this rambling approach, you know, this video is almost double the length of a video I normally do. I'm sure there's only about 4 people left watching it at this point. Hello, hardcore prog and fusion fans. Thank you for staying this far. You've got probably me. I'm going to keep talking and it's just going to get weirder and weirder for all of you, all you little prog fans. Hello there, little prog fans. You've got to this point of the video, the weird bit where Andy's going almost insane. He's been talking for nearly 40 minutes straight and his voice has gone up high and he's just gone very, very strange. And I think at this point, those 4 of you that are there still watching are seeing something absolutely weird at this point. This is what you came for, isn't it? This is what you came for. A middle-aged man, right, desperately trying to keep talking for no reason more than to do you 4 people's heads in that have managed to make it this far. My favourite ones, the best ones, you know, you're my favourite ones. Hardcore Andy Edwards fans, right? They've made it this far. You know why you've stuck it this far? It's because nobody on this YouTube goes this way out and weird. That's what you want. That's why you like prog so much. You're a weirdo. We're all weirdos. That's what we've got here. That's what we got on this channel. Don't tell anybody. It's the domain of the weirdos. You like all that weird music. Nobody else likes it, do they? They all like Coldplay. They all like Lighthouse Family. Then they don't talk to you when you put your albums on. They don't like you, do you? They don't like you. They think you're weird. And here you are, stuck at the end of this video, watching me right up close, looking you straight in the eyes, telling you, you're a weirdo. Bloody hell. I got up to 40 minutes though, so it's double the length. I got there in the end. Yeah. I always get to a point when I do these videos where I can feel that coming on. And normally you see me reach over to the camera and I switch off. But I've let you see that this time. And I hope it hasn't upset some of you. If you are upset, there are phone lines that you can call. I really think I've got to the end now. Really, I've got to the end of this video now. Oh my God! You see, you just got to wait around until that thing happens. I'm sat here and I thought, I'm just going to talk and see what happens. Let's just see what happens, right? Something might happen. Maybe I'll think of something that will be like revolutionary. And I'll have that moment where I'll say something that's so wise. If I just sit here, right, and just see what happens. And then I get to that point, now I've got to the end. And I look down and what do I see? On the floor. Here, lying on the floor, undetected. It's probably been there for months. I found a £2. Right, that's a £2 coin there that's sat on the floor. Right, I can go up the shop now and buy myself some nice biscuits with that. Yeah, oh, that's great, that is. You see, what does that tell us? What do we learn from this, right? Is sometimes you just got to open your eyes and look around and there in front of you will be a little treat, a little treasure if you only just open your eyes and see it. There it is, my little £2, and that's going to be a packet of biscuits. I think I'm going to go for chocolate hobnobs because I like them very much, and I think anyone who's got this far into this insane video, this is probably the most insane video I've made, anyone's got this far, you can say in the comments the answer to this question, and I will end with this. How many of you would like to see a top 10 of the greatest biscuits of all time? Because as much as I know about progressive rock and jazz fusion, I'm also an expert on biscuits, and that I feel would be very valuable. So any of you who would like a top 10 biscuits video, or you can put into the comments below your top 10 favourite biscuits, or even just your favourite biscuits, and then I can sort of what's the word? I can take all those in. What do you do when you take all of them? I can't even remember the word. Anyway, I'll take all your results in, and we can get a sort of much more communal top 10 where we can work out what our favourite biscuits are. And anybody who hasn't watched the video at the end will see all these top 10 biscuit lists in the comments, and they will wonder what the hell's going on. And what I will know is I will know. The true weirdos, the true prog nerds that made it to the end of the video, I'll know who you are when I see the biscuit references. A bit like Van Halen with their little red M&Ms that they used to ask to be removed from backstage. It's exactly like that. It's a way of finding out who your friends really are. So to all of you still watching, you are all my friends. I love you very much. Thank you for supporting my channel. We've just gone past 4,000 subscribers, which I think is why I'm in such a happy, jovial mood on this video. I feel like this channel's actually getting somewhere, and I think, God, everyone just wants to see me just rattling on, talking nonsense. So that's what you've got on this video, and I've done it to the further out than they've ever done before. I'm probably going to lose 1,000 people who go, I'm not going to watch that guy anymore. He's just too weird. He went right up with the camera. He was intimidating me. He was intimidating me. Anyway, I can keep talking like this forever. £2. Chocolate obnubs on the way. Nice cup of tea. Earl Grey. That's what I'm going to do next. I suggest you do the same. See you on the next video. Thanks for watching.